Good morning, Senator, and thank you for meeting with us to talk about the benefits of extending Medicaid coverage for postpartum women in Wisconsin. We appreciate your time and support of the community. We also wanted to thank you for your approval that helped fund the construction of the Kenosha Public Library, which has benefited our community greatly. I'm Stephanie Welsh, a nursing student at Marquette University and a public healthcare worker in maternal health in the city of Milwaukee. I'll be the facilitator of our conversation today, and with me are my teammates Sadie and Pollyanna. Sadie, could you introduce yourself?
Of course. Good morning. My name is Sadie Leach, and I am a nursing student at Marquette University. I also have experience providing care to underserved areas throughout the state and have worked in tandem with Medicaid to provide health and dental care in Madison, Wisconsin.
Thank you, Sadie. And also my other teammate, Pollyanna. She's also going to be taking some notes throughout our meeting.
Good morning. My name is Pollyanna Strobe, and I'm also a nursing student at Marquette University. As a nursing student, this issue is especially important to me because it directly impacts the continuity of care we aim to provide to mothers.
Thank you, guys. So today we hope to explain not only the statistics and data that support this bill, but also to share the real-life impacts that extending medical coverage to the first year after birth could have for the postpartum women of Wisconsin. I was told a story by a woman named Elsa. She was a young mother having her third baby. She had an emergency C-section at 34 weeks, and her baby was sent to the NICU. Over the next 2 months, her daughter was needing intense medical care, and she was not able to get around to do her 6-week follow-up appointment and see how her C-section recovery was going. When she was finally able to get into the office after things had settled down with her daughter, they told her that they couldn't have her appointment because her insurance had ended a few days prior. And when we finally were able to get her back on insurance coverage, they found out that she had tissue adhesions and she needed intensive physical therapy and even surgery to avoid having long-term pelvic pain. So in her case, this could have really greatly helped her to have continuous insurance coverage throughout that first year. Her story is just one of the many experiences of women throughout the state that could have been improved with access to affordable medical care. Pollyanna has many more details about State Bill 23 and how it hopes to alleviate the concerns around Medicaid coverage ending while parents are still recovering physically and emotionally from the birth of their child.
Thank you, Stephanie. State Bill 23 addresses a gap in maternal health care by proposing the extension of healthcare coverage beyond the current 60-day limit to ensure continued access to care during postpartum period. About 40% of births are covered by Medicaid, meaning many women are affected when coverage ends too soon. And as a result, women may delay or miss necessary care, both physical and mental needs. By extending coverage, we would help ensure mothers have continuous access to care during this critical period. To support the extension of postpartum Medicaid, Sadie will now present the data regarding maternal mortality, the cost saving of preventative care, and the racial health care disparity affecting the postpartum population in Wisconsin.
Okay, thank you, Pollyanna. So, according to the CDAC, 87% of maternal deaths are preventable, with 28.1% of these deaths occurring between 43 and 365 days after birth. Additionally, the timing of many health concerns occur after the first 60 days that postpartum women are covered by Medicaid. For example, 7.2% of postpartum women were experiencing postpartum depression at the 9 to 10 month mark, 50% of which did not have any symptoms within the first 6 months. Postpartum cardiomyopathy, a life-threatening form of heart failure, can occur beyond 5 months postpartum. One risk factor of this is hypertension, which can persist beyond 12 weeks postpartum, all of which would not be covered if Medicaid ended at 2 months postpartum. Maternal mortality has also been associated with up to a 70% increased hospital cost, with the average readmission cost being $5,806, whereas a typical outpatient visit is typically only $100 to $300. Not to mention that the 80% of maternal deaths that are preventable would be decreased by utilizing preventative care instead of emergency care. If Medicaid was extended until 1 year postpartum, 13,000 more Wisconsin mothers would have health care and would be better equipped to access preventative care, thereby decreasing maternal mortality and state costs. In addition, Black women disproportionately experience adverse pregnancy outcomes, including maternal mortality, with nearly a 2.6 times greater risk of mortality than that of white women and over a 2 times greater risk than that of the US average. Of these deaths, 11.7% of them occurred between 6 weeks and 1 year, many of which happened after Medicaid coverage would have ended. Furthermore, postpartum depression is twice as likely in women that are Black, Asian or Pacific Islander, Alaska Natives, or American Indians, with 1 in 5 experiencing postpartum depression. As previously mentioned, these healthcare disparities persist far beyond Medicaid coverage ending at the 2 months mark, highlighting the importance of extending Medicaid coverage to positively impact our community by decreasing preventable maternal mortality, encouraging preventative care, saving costs on emergency care, and closing the racial healthcare disparity gap.
Thank you, Sadie. So after hearing the data, as well as the potential positive outcomes that could be made possible with medical insurance coverage being extended through the vulnerable year following the birth of a child, do you have any questions about what we've shared today?
If you don't have any questions, and given that you have shown lifelong support as a politician for the families of Wisconsin, can we rely on you to support this bill by voting yes on extending Medicaid until 1 year postpartum when it is presented in next month's session?
That's great to hear. We would like to thank you for your support of this bill and for supporting the community of mothers in Wisconsin who will have better access to healthcare. For further communication on this matter, we'd love to get your contact information.
And additionally, we have informational materials that we will leave with you here. On the back, we have listed ways to contact us if you have any further questions or thoughts of the issue. Thank you for your time. We look forward to speaking to you again and have a nice day.